So I wanted to talk about Be Together and how I ended up making the song and the video that goes with it. So I was getting in the shower one day, and as I stepped into the shower, I thought, I'd really like to make a song about coming out of lockdown. Stepped into the shower, and then the lyrics just all started coming to me. So I was like washing as fast as I could, uh, so that and repeating the lyrics over and over again, so that I didn't forget them. Fastest shower ever. Got out, quickly typed it into my phone, then wrapped a towel around me, went into the bedroom, found my iPad with a broken screen, and sat down on the bed and just whipped up a track. I don't know where these things come from, but I just made it and then started singing it. At that point, there was no I didn't know what the chorus was, but then voila, I sung the lyrics to the verse, and then I just sung the chorus, and I was like, oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, cool. So then I was really excited about it. Um, and I was so keen to start making it, but I had to finish the last project that I was working on before I could start this one. So that took a few days. And then I sent the demo to Scott, and he was also really excited about it. Scott is the producer. So, yeah, so then he kind of took my backing track and made it better and filled out the rest of it. Uh, yeah, and then it kind of came together really quickly, except for the second verse. Second verse, that took me a while to figure out. But then, anyway, it came. We finished the song. I knew how the rest of the song went. I just knew how it went, which was awesome. Um, and then me and my partner Tom, we watched this film, a Disney film about a gorilla kind of becoming free. Um, and then after that, we ended up watching, like, you know how these things happen, a documentary about Coco, the gorilla, who I can't remember the name of the woman who researched it. Ooh, what's her name? I should have looked that up before I started talking. But anyway, this documentary was all about how she taught this gorilla sign language, and and it was awesome. Made me think. And then the next night, I was in the bedroom and I was just thinking about Be Together and thinking like about a dance or something. And then it was like all of this input that had got into me in like previous days just suddenly went bing in an epiphany moment. Oh, I should sign the lyrics for the song. So I was like, okay, awesome. Let me see if I know anyone who can teach me sign language. So I quickly posted on Facebook. And then Steve, slightly offensive Steve, who's a person I met when I came back to Norwich, who was putting on an open mic night at the Reindeer. That's how I met him. And thanks to him, enjoyed loads of awesome live music after I returned here from Thailand. Uh, and yeah, so turns out his mum was a sign language teacher. So we set up a Zoom call to do a lesson the next day. She told me everything that I needed to know. Then that night, I kind of started working on choreographing something, rehearsing something so that I could do it all fluidly. I got in contact with the videographer who I've known since he was born, actually. But so fortunately, know this person who makes really awesome videos. Uh, Asked him if he'd be interested in filming it and putting it together for me and stuff. And fortunately, he was actually on holiday the next week, so it just all happened really quickly. Uh, then the day we went out to film, it was freezing. It was like 6 degrees, but much colder with wind chill. And I had an idea for what I wanted to wear. So I ended up with a hot water bottle that was actually like a furry light blue elephant kind of thing. I had that stuffed down the back of the waistband of my skirt so that I didn't freeze to death. Uh, But of course, everyone who was walking behind us, behind me while we were filming, was just like cracking up at the fact that I had this elephant's trunk sticking out and like looked like this big kind of bustle on my bum and then this elephant's trunk. It was ridiculous. And I didn't know how ridiculous it looked at the time. It was only when Tom showed me photos afterwards I was like, wow, I've been going around all day like that. That's awesome. So, yeah, we spent 4.5 hours, I think, filming over and over again in different locations. And yeah, and I could barely do the hand signals by the end of it. I was like, my hands were frozen. Uh, but it was, it was still super fun to do something like that for the first time. Yeah, and then uh, Ross edited all the footage together and did an awesome job. And yeah, so that is the story behind how I made the song, we made the song, and how the video was made too.